in Atlanta?
We are going live. This is Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle. I am here with Easy Street with Jen, and we are live on both our channels, on both our phones at the same time.
Amazing.
So I am here in Atlanta, and I see a notification that Easy Street with Jen just went live. And so hopefully I won't get knocked off. That reminds me, when I saw that notification that says that I did not put my phone on Do Not Disturb, but that's okay. That's okay. That won't knock us out.
That's all right.
So it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you finally.
So, yes, Jen was gracious enough to let me stop by on my way home to Alabama. And so I'll be here with her and her husband tonight, and then I'll be heading home tomorrow morning.
Although he's welcome to stay as long as he'd like.
Oh, see, so that means I have to come back, and
you
so
go.
now they'll never get rid of me.
That's right. That's all right. That's right.
So
everybody's always welcome in my home.
So I can't really see because the phone's far away. Someone, let me see. That's Honey with Dub. So Dub's Honey is there. See,
hey, honey.
I can see.
I don't think I have my comments on.
Hi, Wayne with Fair Brick Studio. My old eyes are looking across to the phone there.
Mm. Yeah, we'll have Chris. Chris is coming home. He'll have another device that we can use to look at the live chat. Wow, people are coming in.
Yeah, perfect timing. Her husband Chris just came home. And so,
you're awesome.
Hello, Chris. Hello. Hi, Chris. I'm meeting Chris for the very first time.
Want to say hi? We're both live.
We are live on YouTube. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You want to say hi to the folks?
Hello out there.
And then Daryl's friends,
yeah.
say hi to his friends.
Hello again.
So this is our first meeting and going YouTube live here. So Jen, tell them about your channel.
Oh, well, my channel is basically gardening, travel, restaurants. What else do I do? Live music trivia every Wednesday night, 8 Eastern is one of my things. And a little miscellaneous stuff. I like nature, so you'll see birds or geese. I have a bat's short out there. That's recent. But yeah, I do a little bit of this, or little quirky things that I like that I see while I'm traveling. And so tell us about your channel.
Well, my channel is about early retirement and retiring well, whatever that means to you financially. It's about saving money. It's about being financially stable and starting from wherever you start. So you don't need $1 million to retire. You can start saving $5 a week, $5 a paycheck. And so my channel is about how to stop living paycheck to paycheck and really enjoy life in retirement. So I travel. I love to travel and I love to meet YouTubers, which is why I'm here. And on my channel, they're typing in caps, which is helping because I'm sitting away from my phone because we're live on 2 different phones.
Yeah. So we wanted to do a vertical and make sure we were both in so that the phones are about, 4 feet, almost 5 feet away from us. So appreciate those caps over there.
Yes. And the mention from Mrs. G that just mentioned me. So Wayne with Fair Brick Studio, he helps a lot of YouTubers. He supports a lot of YouTubers. He's from the UK, and you see him on a lot of lives. But you also see him, he has a playlist of support.
Oh, wow.
Where he puts different people's videos in a support playlist. So when I get monetized, that's what I'm going to do.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So tell us about, you were mentioning earlier about how much you save with your gardens.
Oh, yeah. So with my gardens, I just bought some, and I've always gardened, but I've never sat down and run the numbers, as they say. So last year, though, I knew because I was aging, I needed to invest in some really good long term raised beds because I'd built cedar beds before. For those of you who followed me, I had some really high 32-inch raised beds from when I had gallbladder surgery. I couldn't miss a season of gardening. So I built those real quick before my surgery, and we've kind of been dealing with that. But then we've have a 3-phase project going on. We finished phase 1 last year. We're working on phase 2 this year. It should be done in the next few weeks, and then we're starting on phase 3 after that. Hopefully, we have all the stuff we need for it. We just need to do the work. And since it's mainly the two of us, it's a lot. But last year, we planted some stuff, took off on vacation, and I started doing just those new beds because they're a little pricey. But what I found was once I harvested from there and I tallied up what I was saving every month in groceries, I was saving $200 a month just in the little things I planted last year, not including the older established garden that is now torn down. So it's well worth the gardening because it wasn't much. It was some tomatoes and okra, mainly, and some peppers. But yeah, $200 a month we were saving, and I was going by Walmart prices, and not the organic stuff. I was doing the inorganic pricing. So had it been Whole Foods organic, which is all I do, it would have been a lot higher savings. So yeah, it's the one I was attracted to Doctor here because we have the same mindset, and we're both early retirees, and we believe in a frugal way of living. But at this point, the only thing I can save money on is my food by growing my own food. So I think it's well worth the effort. And I was saying to someone, her name's Baker Brews, Brewz, that traveling and gardening are very much alike. It's meditative, restorative. You come away learning something every time. You get good exercise because you're going to the museums or you're working in the garden, whatever. But I think there's a lot of pleasure in both traveling and gardening, which is why they're part of my life, for sure.
Well, and I will tell you all that I watch Jen's channel because it's so relaxing, and we both have that free spirit, that I really connect with. And I'm going to move my camera on my phone, so everybody excuse me for getting up because we only have a part of her here. So
I don't know.
we're just
That's
going to move
okay. You only need a part of me.
just a little bit. There we go. So that should do it. And now we're both see her camera is good. So her camera has both of us in there. My camera, I'm the old guy, has just a little bit of half one person and not the other. But thank you all for typing in caps because I can read it this far away. And so anyway, I'm just happy to be here. I've been on a trip for almost 3 weeks now, and I've met quite a number of YouTubers. And so this is my last YouTuber that I'm meeting on my way home. However, we're going to get together again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because we've been sitting here talking before the live about our prior careers and how they were so similar. We just have so
I think
much
our
in common.
lifestyle, even like how we grew up and how we were raised and things we were involved in our youth, and how that developed us later in life. And I think for me, I have a big fear of being poor again.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that keeps me out of the stores. I am not a shopper. I don't like going to stores. I order from Walmart for free because if you order over $35, it's free. and my husband picks up every week, so I'm not tempted by the new products and this and that that aren't even good for you. So most of the time. So yeah, we have a lot in common. It's
Well,
pretty
and
amazing.
you know, you brought up the fear of being poor, and I tell you, you all know that I used to be homeless, and
Same.
that I never. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
there's something new. We have a connection that is not something that's spoken.
Yeah.
You know, it's a feeling. You know, it's a feeling, and I have built a lot of walls to ensure that I'll never be homeless again. You know, a lot of things would have to happen in my life
Oh yeah.
for me to become homeless again. And so, yeah, because of that, I'm just grateful for everything I have. You know,
Every day I wake up, so blessed, so grateful.
yes. And I think that's the other thing that we have in common. And I get that feeling from watching her channel, you know, that she's grateful and blessed. You know, and so you all know on my channel, whenever she just got monetized, right?
I'm
Recently?
monetized, but I haven't clicked the button because I'm afraid of being homeless. And I've been looking at the legal side of things and kind of taking my time there. So, and I might not even do it for a while because it's kind of not worth the money that I'm putting out in legal fees. It won't even be covered this year, more than likely. So,
And so,
I'm very frugal.
Yeah,
To the point where I won't even monetize on YouTube, even though I qualify. Yeah.
well, and that's where the other thing that we have in common is being frugal. You know, you all know that I have a budget for myself of $900 a month that I'm trying to live on. And so I have done so much as calculate how much my food costs, you know, every month or every week. And it's not that I'm limited to that. My income is higher, but I'm trying to live on less so that there's no way we run out of money in retirement. And so frugality is my key. And so when I travel at a hotel and I get the points. So eventually I can get a free night's stay at the hotel. You know, so all of these different things are what makes me frugal. And, you know, I was telling Jen earlier that I don't even spend money on YouTube. I have my phone, I have a cheap little tripod. I know it's horrible, but that's me, you know, because when I'm monetized, I want all of my money to go to the homeless. You know, I am not on YouTube to make money for my retirement, or I'm not on YouTube. People have many different reasons for being on YouTube, and I love everyone's reason for being on YouTube. And so there was a lady that I heard was on YouTube so that she could make money to hire a lawyer to get her son back.
Wow.
And so everyone has their different reasons for being on YouTube. So I love everyone's reasons, but I have my own reasons. So,
Yeah. I think for me, I really love the social aspect of it, you know, because I am I used to live in the city, now I'm kind of like in the burbs. It's different. You know, I have great neighbors who I like, but everybody has busy lives these days. Where I think in the city, everybody's more visible, maybe. So for me, the social aspect is huge. And learning how to do YouTube, learning how to edit, because I just started editing a year ago. But just all these baby steps to grow my channel has taught me a lot, and I'm grateful for that in itself. That I still have the faculty about me to learn new things, and so. But I'll always be a lifelong learner. So those two things are really huge for me.
well, and it is for me too. I am a lifelong learner, and I have so much in common with not only Jen, but also with her husband, whom I have not had a chance to talk to yet. You know, but Chris and I both had the same career. He's still in the career, and I was in the career, and I retired from that career. But this is a family here that I'm looking forward to spending the evening with and talking to get to know them better.
Yeah. And we'll probably do a road trip together down the road or something. Maybe meet up in Montgomery or something.
Okay, there you guys heard it first here. Okay, we're all gonna do a road trip and meet up somewhere because you guys know I will get in my car and I will go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I love about retirement and early retirement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's funny because even though I had a professional career before I retired and everything, here I'd be in my little cubicle eating my lunch from dinner the night before, my leftovers at my cubicle, and I'd be, word would get out that I'm getting ready to travel again to some Caribbean island or Central America or something, and people would stop by with their takeout lunch in their hand and, well, how do you afford to travel? Well, I always wanted to say it's because I don't go out and buy my lunch every day. It's because I bring home food that I've cooked, or I bring to work food that I've cooked, and that alone saved us a ton of money through the years.
Well, and I will tell you, I did the same thing. You all know from my story that in my career, later on in my career, I was demoted at work. And so I still had a rental property to pay for, I had a condo to pay for, I had a car to pay for, and I had a motorcycle to pay for. So therefore, I became very frugal. And that's how I started in the FIRE movement, even before I knew what the FIRE movement was. And I'm still frugal in retirement. And therefore, my net worth has tripled in retirement. I mean, how does that happen? They talk about in early retirement that you live off of your 401k or you live off of whatever you had when you retired. Well, I retired with less than $500,000, and my net worth has done nothing but grow. Now, granted, COVID helped that, but my point is I am frugal. And so even though I have a lot more than $900 a month coming in, I am always trying to live on $900 a month or less.
What I like though is when you don't meet your goal, you're very honest about it. And
well, yes, I have made a whole lot of mistakes, but you guys are going to watch that as I'm just living life.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that you share the kind of dark side too. You had a IRS issue this year.
Yes, and I'm going through this IRS issue right now as we speak. I've paid the IRS and I've paid the state of Alabama. Mm-hmm. However, I had to borrow money from myself to do that, and now I have to pay that money back. So you all are going to watch me over the rest of 2026, because we're already a fourth of the way in. Mm-hmm. You're going to watch me pay back all of that money by being frugal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm ready. Ready to watch you do it. And you're going to watch me save so much money on groceries by growing my own food. Even though there's going to be some upfront cost here, I kind of look at it kind of like a business investment. There's a little bit of upfront cost, but the payout and the profits are going to be great going forward. And even now, we're still living off last year's summer harvest, but I also garden year round too. So I was telling Doc here, we just pulled up the kale and collards, but we have carrots that I planted in November that are just now ripening. So we're always saving money somewhere, here and there.
Well, and I probably need to learn how to garden. I don't. My wife does, but she's the outside person. I am the inside person. So you guys know I work from home and I teach in different colleges, and I work inside, but I really need to start saving money outside because I'm watching different gardening channels. And so I'm learning. And as you all have seen, and what may have uploaded prior to this live is my day 28. of my 1 mile per day walk in April. So I've gone to a lot of national parks and state parks, and that is my new passion. So I'm going to be traveling this country and traveling Alabama, seeing different new parks, state parks, and getting in my exercise. Because health is wealth as an early retiree.
Yes. Yes, that's something I need to work more on. So as some of you know, I was in a bad accident, so I gained a lot of weight from that because not this sofa, but I slept sitting up on the other sofa. It's like this one, with my feet up on the dining room chair for 3 months. That's how I slept. Kinda. I slept at like 4 hours at a time because the pain was so intense. But I blew up like 30 pounds the day after we got home, Chris.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. I like all of a sudden I had all this fluid weight, and then that impacted me to where I just gained more weight because it was hard to move and just being in pain. So, and before that, it was the veal fattening pin at the corporate office. So, yeah, it's been a struggle, but it's something I want to work on. I was hoping to wait till silver sneakers years. But I need to get on it. Because I found out I was being sedentary a bit this last month, being down in Florida with my friend Suzanne. Yeah, working in the garden this weekend about kicked my butt. So I think I'm still recuperating a little bit from that.
Well, and you all can tell, I have to lose a few pounds here, but I'm working on it. And this is my thing about my channel, is we start from wherever we are, and we just work on it.
Yeah.
You know, but we're real. You know, we're real people. We're not sort of fake. I don't know if there are fake YouTubers out there, but we are not fake YouTubers. You just see us living our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah, I mean, the struggle is real when it comes to, you know, food in the grocery store. We don't need a whole cereal aisle. We don't need a whole snack aisle, you know. And then once we do, yeah, I think and I'm doing it slowly. And I think with finance too, it's a slow progression. Because I didn't know how to manage money, right, when I grew up. Because there was no money to manage. Like, you're just happy to get through the day. So there was no learning about how to manage money. So that was a slow process. And even in my 30s, I was terrible at it. Then I married this wonderful man over here that you saw earlier, who was great at it because he was taught how to manage money. Although he hadn't managed a whole lot of mine. I've managed most of my money, but
Yeah, it's just 1 month at a time and just trying to make things.
and maxing out my 401k when I was working and getting a Roth IRA established and those type of things.
Starting is the key, and even if you start with just $50 a month, once you've started, then you can find it's much easier to simply add to that. But
Yeah, our emergency fund is Aflac stock, and that's one we've been putting $50 a month into every month, and it's helped because we needed some emergency fund for repair or something, and then I think we took some out for a vacation while we were at it, since we had never spent any of that.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, it helped provide a way to cover those things. I mean,
yeah, without me going into my retirement funds, which are accessible to me now, but I don't want to touch those as long as I can put that off, you know. So
that's investment advice, but that's one thing we did. So.
well, there was a recent study, though. I'll put this out as investment advice. There was a recent study by Emory University and another university on investments, and I think a lot of the retirement companies, Fidelity and Vanguard, they're selling these Oh, as you age, you need a more blended mix of S&P 500 and bond. Well, doing a study of that, they found that that's a terrible investment. Just going full hard on S&P 500, you average about 24% return every year, on average, which you can't get that on the blends.
No,
So
no, and
yeah.
I do that is I am, if you watch my channel, I am aggressive growth in
Yeah, I
my
am too.
stock portfolio because I have the rental real estate to create the income. I have the teaching to create the income. So I have 7 streams of income.
The income floor, that's a real
Yes.
plus, that allows you to be able to seek greater returns safely, because you got this floor that you can depend on. And
Yeah.
then,
Well, and Chris just mentioned income floor, right? So I have a pension from the federal government. I am now turned on Social Security. Those are my income floor. Those I get every single month. My teaching income is on top of that. My rental property income is on top of that, which allows my stock investing to be as aggressive as I want it to be, because I'm probably never going to touch it. And I also want to bring up, Chris brought up another point a little bit earlier, just in case you didn't hear him. He said start monthly. He said it's a monthly, what did you say, Chris?
well, dollar cost average.
Dollar cost averaging, right? So dollar cost averaging every month into your investments, into your retirement. And that's what I'm doing now, building my emergency fund. So, so Jen and Chris have done everything right. Me, not so much. So,
Well, I don't know. I've always done everything right for sure, but he's my income floor. So I do. He's got a pension coming down the road, like Doc has over here. So, I'm wide open on my investments. I do 100% S&P 500 all the way. And that's what this Emory study, but Google the Emory University stock bond study and click on Google News. You have images, what is it, all images, all that stuff. Scroll over till you find news and click on that. You can read the study yourself. Thought it was very interesting. Kind of validated what I've been doing all my investing life. And then I think even with our Aflac, we don't do I had an E-Trade account. That was kind of like my play money, and I would play with stocks. And it wasn't a lot. But with the Aflac, at the time, you could go, you go to the Aflac website, and you choose the investor
dividend reinvestment program
page and dividend reinvestment program. Major companies have it: Coca-Cola, Aflac, Chevron, Pepsi, all those big companies. They're all S&P 500, and they'll have an investor page where you can buy direct from that company. Now, Aflac did get a third-party vendor to manage that for them, so but it's no different than just contacting the corporation. But that's how easy it is. And then we just gave them our bank routing number and said, take out $50 a month. And they take out $50 a month from our bank every month. It's that easy once you decide on your dollar amount and the company you want to invest in.
and so I'm going to just piggyback on what Jen just talked about, which is automating your investments. If you have this automatically coming out, like I do, I have an automatic Roth deduction at each of my colleges. And then also, I have a health savings account, which my insurance company puts money into my investment every month. So, now, granted, when I get to Medicare age, I can no longer have that. And I believe I talked about that recently. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the article that Jen talked about, and I'm going to do a future video or a future live on that study that she just talked about.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Now, I did get lucky about the time the mortgage crash happened because I did have a blend of S&P 500, but I also had some in international growth, which was huge at the time because Brazil and China were going nuts. So that was a good investment at the time, but I can't remember the gentleman's name. He's a big financial guy, and I was following him quite a bit. I know he's American, Middle Eastern, but I can't think of his name. So if you're into finance, you'll know who I'm talking about. But I was following him, and he kept predicting this mortgage
Was
crisis.
it Ramit Sethi or no?
It may have been.
No, I don't know.
I can't remember, but I just would listen to him, and I had a coworker who was into stocks and investment, and we would talk, and I was also listening to Dave Ramsey, even though I was debt free at the time, other than my mortgage. And I was just like, you know what? I've got enough money. I can pay off my house. If I sell some stock, because I had company stock too. So I'm like, sell my stock. I'm going to move my investments back out of the international growth and back in the S&P 100%. Sold my stock, and the market crashed like 2 weeks later.
No, my goodness.
So
Yeah.
paid off my mortgage, and that's all she wrote. Because that was so important to me to have that, having been homeless and going here, living there, never knowing what I was gonna, if I went to one home, what I would end up coming back to. It was just so insane that was so critical to me that I was just, that security was amazing, you know, and I was just so fortunate in that. And like you said, it'd take something pretty catastrophic to end up homeless again.
Well, yes. I don't think either one of us are going to end up being homeless again. I just don't see that.
Yeah.
You know. And I have enough rental properties that I told myself I will just move from one rental property into another rental property before I'm homeless again. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I did something similar to Jen, is that I was working overseas as a contractor for the government. And so I saved up my money in the stock market. And as you all can see, I ride a Harley. So I was buying Harley stock because I couldn't buy a motorcycle. Well, I sold my Harley stock when I came back to America and paid cash for my very first condo. And that was my first piece of real estate. And I never thought I would own a home. But that's what got me started in real estate, was I paid cash for the very first one.
Wow.
And so I don't own anything outright at the moment. However, one of the things that I do, and I've talked about this before on my channel, is I use my paid off rental properties as collateral to buy me more rental properties. And so now, at our age, I'm only in my mid-60s. So at my age, I'm just going to pay off everything and just have the income for the rest of my life. So that's it. No, buying no more rental properties. I have enough. I'm just paying them all off now.
Now, do you mind me asking, how many rental properties do you have?
More than 10. I never share how many, but I do. I have more than 10 rental
That's awesome.
properties. So,
Very good.
yeah, it's plenty. It's plenty for a guy in a low cost of living area like South Alabama.
Yeah.
And with a government pension from the DC area, which is, they give you a higher cost of living because you retired from a higher cost of living area. Then when I moved from Maryland to Alabama, I saved about 30% on my housing costs and cost of living. So it's very frugal. right? I moved to a lower cost of living area to be frugal to ensure that I never ever run out of money.
Yeah, Georgia used to be, one ranked high in the frugal states, but we're kind of midway right now, I think. I forget what the last listing was for Georgia cost of living, but we may have a little bit better education, infrastructure, health care, that type of thing, compared to Alabama.
Well, and you do, but Alabama has the lowest property taxes in America. This was just something I
Yes.
heard on a YouTube channel last week.
Yes, that is true.
New Jersey and New York have some of the highest property taxes.
In California.
And California. California is always up there.
Yeah.
Hawaii is always up there. And I'm glad that I chose Alabama only because the reason that I chose to move from Maryland to Alabama is because they do not tax your federal government pension. And there were 13 states at the time that did not. And so I chose one of the 13 because for the rest of my life I do not want my pension to be taxed at the state level.
Very wise, very wise. It is a huge savings when you sit down and do the numbers, for sure. Yeah. So, but Georgia's pretty reasonable. Well, right now we probably have one of the more reasonable gas prices because we did away with the state sales tax on gas temporarily. And that isn't the first time that's happened.
And
So.
one of my folks said that they live in Georgia. And so I'm sorry.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. It's hard for me to read the comments
Yes.
because our phones are far away so that you can see both of us.
Yes.
And so, but I'm not going to be on much longer because I want to get to know Chris. Apparently, Chris and I have a lot in common.
Yes.
And so, so anyway, I'm going to go and I hope to take Jen and Chris to dinner. That's what I hope to do.
He's got to pay for his board,
Well, and you all know my story that when I came out of the homeless shelter, people fed me, and so it's really important for me to pass it on.
Yeah.
It's a personal thing. Now I'm gonna start crying. Okay.
Well,
All
now,
right.
but you also know that I'm a big cooker. Like, I love cooking. I love entertaining and hosting. But I know how important this is to him. So, yeah, we will oblige him an evening out.
So really, I mean, it's such a pleasure. I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you all for coming to my live. This was a pop-up live. I'm live every Friday morning at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And this Friday I will be live. So I'll be back at home. So I'll be live at my regular time. So thank you all so much, and I will see you all soon.
It's great seeing you all from Daryl, and love y'all very much. Take care, and thanks for coming by. We really do appreciate it. Y'all are just lovely. But we're going to go enjoy each other's company.
Yes.
See you later.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.